Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? I hope you're having a beautiful day just as I am. And if not, maybe by the end of this video, it will look a little bit brighter because today I will be showing you how you can add an extra 30 to 50k per month in your coaching or consulting business every 30 days. Yes, you heard that right. So it doesn't matter if you're at 5k per month and you're looking to scale to 30k, or if you are at 30k or 40k per month and you're looking to add another 30 or 50k inside your business. This applies to both of you, right? And I'm not making these bold claims randomly, right? So my mentor, Serge Guattari, has used these exact strategies and frameworks and went from making peanuts to $500,000 every single month in just 2.5 years. That's ridiculous, right? And I've been fortunate enough to learn everything from him. So my name is Divyansh, I'm the founder of Social College, and if you ever sat down through those endless online courses, yawning away through, only to realize that they offer no real value, then this is for you. If you dream of days when clients are knocking on your door eager to work with you, stick around. Maybe you've got a decent following, which I'm sure many of you have, on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, but you're just scratching your heads like wondering why you're not getting clients from it, right? Or perhaps you have a small following, but you're passionate about your craft, your coaching, or your consulting, but unsure on how to get the word out. If any of this sounds familiar, then you're in the right place. If you want sustainable growth where clients find you rather than the other way around, keep watching. If you're tired of hearing people hopping on a call with you to get all the details but never actually buy, keep watching. If you're frustrated by objection and resistance on sales calls, then you're definitely gonna love this, because what I'm about to show you is gonna make the sales process so easy that the only reason prospects jump on a call with you is to give you the money and reduce the chances of getting objections on the sales calls. But I won't sugarcoat the challenges here. So if you want to get a get rich quick overnight fantasy, that demands zero effort, this isn't your job probably. If you're just starting out, without any client testimonials or not hitting at least 5 to 10k per month yet, we might be a tad early, to be honest. And if you're not selling high ticket services, let's say worth 2 or 3 grand at least, this might not resonate. If the idea of stepping in front of camera sends you running, this might not be for you. So if you're on the same page, let's get started. So let's break this down. How does one consistently add 30k a month? Well, it mainly boils down to 3 core pillars, right? I mean, there could be more, but it just mainly boils down to these 3 pillars. Firstly, your offer, what you're selling and who you're selling it to, right? Do they hear about it and immediately think, oh, I've got to have that? Secondly, your acquisition, which means basically getting attention on your offer, right? So do you have a fail-proof system to consistently attract qualified leads? Not just leads, but qualified leads, because that's what matters, right? A method so potent that it not only brings in eyeballs, but makes the sales process feel like a breeze. Lastly, your sales, which is just, converting the attention you get. Is your sales process so refined that objections are a rarity? A process so seamless that by the time you're in the conversation with the prospect on the call, they're nearly sold? Now, before I get into all these 3 areas, let's get something straight. Someone out there of your exact same age, expertise, is literally adding an extra 30k per month and living the dream you crave. And I think you know them. They're not magicians and they don't have any secret sauce. They're just nailing these 3 areas better than you. And I believe deep down, you know them. So this is why I will be going over each of these 3 areas in detail today, so you can build a coaching business that you really aspire to build, right? So I've invested over 10 grand into programs, picked the brains of industry leaders, and broken down the sales funnel of big players. And today I'll be sharing all of the knowledge with you, right? So you can build a business that you really aspire to. On top of that, the acquisition system I'm going to mention is the exact same system used by channels like Grant Cardone, Alex Hormozi, Andrew Tate, etc. And you'll be able to verify that when you explain, right? But a small request, just stay with me till the end and don't jump watch the video, because if you jump watch the video, you might miss the important parts. And as we all know, incomplete bricks lead to broken houses. So maybe just grab your favorite snack, get comfortable, and close all the tabs to make sure you don't get distracted. Right? So make sure that you are, completely invested. I don't know how long this training is going to take, but I'm sure this might be a long one, but I promise it will be worth your time and attention. So with that being said, let's get started. All right. So first, let's start off with the offer, because it sets the foundation for everything we do after, right? I mean, your marketing, your sales, your service delivery, everything depends on that, right? So I'm not going to go too deep into this, because after $100 million offers by Alex Hormozi, most people don't like a good offer today, right? I mean, but I still want to share some tips and strategies that you can use to refine your offer further. right? So just making sure that it is a grand slam offer, right? And making sure you're missing this out in. So firstly, let's just talk about the pricing. So just picture this: you're browsing online for a cool, project management software, let's say. Then you come across two options. One's got this monthly recurring payment for $50, and the other's offering a one-time deal for $300. Now, the 300 one has some extra benefits as well, right? Which is going to make your project management even easier. Now, which one's catching your eye? If you're anything like me, you're probably leaning towards the 300 deal, even though it's a higher price. Why? Simply because it involves no monthly commitments, and we also get more benefits, right? It's a win-win. Now, here's the thing: your potential clients, they're thinking the same way. When you pitch a monthly deal, it's like you're asking them to commit a monthly subscription right off the bat. And let's be real, who loves those monthly deductions from their bank account, right? Most folks would rather pay once and be done with it. I mean, we don't, as humans, we are just wired in a way like we don't want to spend money again and again and again and again, right? On top of that, when you get clients on a monthly retainer right from the start, you have less cash up front, which means you can't reinvest much, right? In acquiring a new client or for other purposes like fulfillment. Plus, there's always that risk of them bailing out next month, which basically means your lifetime value of a customer decreases because they're just going to stay for 1 month and just then disappear the next month, right? So when folks are on a month-to-month payment plan, they often start second guessing their decision. They might think, do I really need this anymore? I've pretty much got the hang of it. Is it worth my money? What's new or different this month, right? These kinds of thoughts just start popping up in their head whenever the next month is approaching. And I can say this because I've experienced this myself. I was in coaching, I've been in coaching, I've been in many coaching. So I can say this from experience that people start to think like that, right? And this is not the best situation, right? So instead of the usually monthly pitch, offer them a one-time deal, right? So just don't position this as like a monthly recurring payment, but as a one-time deal. If you were pitching $1,500 per month, now pitch them $8K for a 3-month commitment, right? And just throw in some extra perks like done for you services. Now, here's the thing, guys. In most coaching businesses, the most standard model that I've seen is they offer a community. They offer some video modules or video courses, and then there are some weekly coaching calls, right? So this is the standard coaching model. But try to understand that in this model, you're just providing them information, right? You're just providing them information, and information doesn't always necessarily mean that they're going to see the results, right? Because we can have all the information we need, but if we just don't take action towards it, nothing's going to change, right? And most people are lazy, to be honest. So if you could just include some done for you services, they don't have to be some services that include a tedious amount of work. No, I'm not talking about that, but just some little things that just decreases the effort from their side and makes it unreasonable for them to not see the result, right? So if you throw in some extra perks like these done for you services, you've got yourself a deal that's hard to resist. And the best part, you get a nice chunk of cash upfront because you're going to be charging so much more for this one, right? Because it's a one-time deal. And with that cash, what you can do is now reinvest that cash into outsourcing that done for you service to some other person. So you don't even have to do this yourself. These are the perks of getting more cash upfront, right? You can reinvest in your business, get more clients, you can spend in more acquisition and even service delivery to, make it more unreasonable for your clients to not win. And plus, when clients invest more, they are more committed. They'll pay more attention to what you're offering and basically your coaching, and then they will likely see better results with it, right? But here's the cherry on top. Once that 3-month period is over, you can offer them a monthly deal. And because they've already seen the value in your one-time offer earlier, they'll be more open to a monthly commitment. So if you charge 8K upfront, now pitch them a monthly retainer for 2K. Now they will see this as an opportunity. Why? Because earlier in your 8K deal, the monthly spend when calculated is around roughly 2.6K dollars. But now they're getting this for 2K. So you see how you went from charging $1,500 per month and maybe getting more rejections in that to charging 8K upfront, and then even when that period is over, you now can charge $2,000 per month. So basically, you just increase your customer's lifetime value plus also got more cash in, right? So in a nutshell, ditch the monthly retainer upfront pitch, right, and go for a one-time offer. Now, let's talk about target audience, right? So, let's say you are a fitness coach selling high ticket coaching programs, right? And your offer is to help people build muscle. Now, if you're selling this to 18 to 23-year-olds, you'll never be able to charge much for it. Why? Because these people, like in this age bracket, people are just starting out with their lives, right? They don't have much money to invest. Although they might be in pain, they might be struggling to build muscle, they can't simply afford it, right? They're searching for more affordable options to help themselves. And your high ticket offer, no matter the value, this just won't make sense for them because you simply can't afford it at that moment, right? So it's extremely important that whenever you are offering your services, you choose your target market very wise. A target market that has the pain and the affordability. And if any of this is missing, you're basically serving the wrong people. You're always going to struggle to sell them. So now that we have got your offer refined, how do you get attention of that? How do you get people to know about it? How do you get people to know about the Grand Slam offer you sell, right? Now, there are a variety of ways, but I first want to clear this up. If you're not getting at least 1,000 strangers to know about your offer every single day, you're very behind, to be honest. Why? Because there's a lot of competition these days. I mean, you probably yourself know that you're not the only, whatever your niche is, you're not the only coach in that niche, right? And your competition is aiming for the attention of the same people you're trying to sell to. So if you're not out competing them, you're losing a lot of money. Now, the most common ways people go about generating attention is through cold DMs, emails, Facebook ads, etc., and they just rely on them. While there is no problem with doing that, consider this. So I call this the candle approach. So just imagine if you are in a vast dark room, all right? You light one candle, it provides a small glow. Then you light another candle and so on. Now, with each candle, the room gets a bit brighter, but there are limits. You're constantly buying more candles, spending time lighting them, and dealing with the melting wax. Similarly, while increasing email campaigns, sending more DMs, and investing more in ads can help you add an extra 30K per month, there might be the candle approach to your business. Here's why. Firstly, they have constant output. So what this means is you send out one cold message and you always get one reply in return, right? And that too if you're lucky, because more often than not, if you're experienced in this area, like cold outbound things, you know that most of the times you're met with silence, right? So it's like fishing with a single hook and praying for a catch every time. And you're smart in this, right? You know your words shouldn't be measured by such meager returns. Secondly, trust building issues. So you basically send out a cold message or email, and then what? You just always back to square one, right? Trying to build trust from scratch. You probably start to think that, will they just see you as another salesperson trying to make a quick buck? And let's be honest, people think of it that way. I mean, I receive cold DMs myself every single day, and I think of them just as sales people myself. So I know that if I send someone a cold DM, they're probably they're going to think of me the same way, right? So it's like going on a first date over and over again, each time with someone who has their card up. It's emotion trading, right? So the next thing is offer positioning. So a lot of people have a solid service, and they've also nailed down their target audience as well. But they trip up when it comes to positioning themselves correctly. I mean, that's the single most reason that many people with great services selling to the right people are still not able to sell them, are still not able to make the most money. Why? Because they're just simply positioning themselves incorrectly, right? So chances are that their potential clients either buy from their competitors, ask for discounts, or give price objections. I'm not sure if this happens with you, but for most of you, it must have, right? Why does this happen? Because you haven't positioned yourself as your go-to expert in your field. You probably haven't achieved that yet, right? You might be posting stuff, you might be doing XYZ things, you might have a lot of testimonials, but in your marketing, you somewhere still lack to position yourself as an expert, right? Now think about it. When you retain via cold DMs, emails, or direct response ads, which are like Facebook ads mostly, which people use, it's like you are ringing someone's doorbell uninvited. Claiming you are an expert in that scenario, it's like a very, very tough sell, right? It's like going door to door and announcing you are the best in the business. I mean, most of the folks will just see you as another salesperson, no doubts in that, and not the expert you truly are. And not to mention, both ads and cold outbound methods have no longevity. because you always need to spend more in order to acquire more. And once you stop spending, your conversions dry up. It's just like a do or die situation. Like once you stop doing that, you stop getting clients, right? So let's talk about the second approach. Here, instead of relying on candles like in the previous one, you decide to use a smart bulb, right? Now, instantly the room is filled with bright light with just a click of a button, using way less energy and effort. Plus, now you have the option to adjust the brightness or even change the bulb's color. Similarly, what if there is a smart bulb approach waiting for you? I mean, a system that automatically improves your closing rate without you needing to improve your sales skills. Right? I mean, don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that you don't have to have some sales skills. You should have them. And when you combine those with the system I'm about to share with you, it's going to make the sales process so much easier. On top of that, you will be now able to reach millions with the same effort. Now, earlier you used to send one message and get one reply, a never-ending cycle basically that felt like running on a treadmill, right? Now, this system allows you to reach millions with the same effort. Plus, it also helps you, skyrocket your conversion rates by building trust. Now, building trust through cold messages and emails was, it was super hard, right? It was just like climbing a mountain, slow and grueling, right? Now, with this system, trust is established from the very first interaction, making the prospects jump on a sales call only to give you their credit cards and not objections, or at least way less than in other methods. Because here we're going to pre-sell them. I'm going to show you how. So the emotional exhaustion of winning over skeptics, gone. And not to mention the constant anxiety of spending more to get more is eliminated here. You find yourself spending way less money, and that too if required on ads, or perhaps nothing at all, right? And yet reaping returns that are 10x of what you are used to. And the resistance, the objections, the emotional drain of each sales call, 9 out of 10 will vanish. With this system, prospects will now come to you not to interrogate but to transact. And the cherry on the top is it also supports your outbound campaigns as well. And guys, here's the thing. I'm not against using cold DMs, right? Emails, etc. I've myself used them, but it's not just about what you use. It's about how you use it, right? Because like I said earlier, each of these strategies are capable of helping you add an extra 30K per month. And while using every strategy to get clients can be a good option if you can actually do it effectively, but focusing more on what has the highest leverage in terms of time spent, the effort taken, and results produced should be a primary goal as a business owner. And this will not only help you in the short term, but in the long term as well. Because if you're just going to focus on too many things at one time, you will not be able to optimize even one of them perfectly, right? But if you are that person who just wants to own, every piece of the pie, then I've got good news, because this system also supports your outbound campaigns, making them 10 times better and unreasonable for you to not be a cost rating. Stick around for the sauce. And all of this is while making sure people knock on your doors instead of the other way around, like it was in cold DMs, emails, etc. Right? And I'm not talking about magic system or funnel here, but just a better one that you usually use or have used. Now, something that provides you with more leverage. This is exactly what giants like Hermosi, Andrew Tate, and Grant Cardone, and many more people like them are using to get millions of attention every single day on their offer. So, I'm not sure if you guessed it, but I'm talking about creating sales assets, aka content, and backing it up with a sales funnel. I call it the content cash system. Now, many of you might already be creating content, right? Many of you might already be posting stuff and just wondering why you're not getting clients. So just stick around till the end of this video, and this will help you even if you are already posting content, right? And if you're not getting any clients from it, because I'm going to share some pitfalls people make by creating content. So, have you ever considered why these people, out of all the available acquisition strategies, are spending insane amounts of money on this? It's because they know it has more leverage than any other acquisition strategy. It's because they know that it can pay returns no strategy ever can. I mean, I believe Hermosi spends around 300 grand per month just on content. And how do you think Hermosi was able to get 500,000 plus signups for his book launch event? I mean, he surely mentioned that he used every strategy that he mentioned in $100 million leads, but most of them was through content. How do you think Andrew Tate is able to get 200,000 plus paid members for the real world? Cold DMs, paid ads? Absolutely not. Why? Because they don't need to. They don't need to do these cold DMs or paid ads. because they have mastered the art of creating these attention generating sales assets, which I call micro assets. Basically, they're short form content, right? So these are the assets which grab eyeballs. But the sad part is most people go wrong about these. They follow the scattergun approach. And this is something that I've seen a lot of people doing online, not just coaches, not just consultants, but a lot of people doing this online. This basically means throwing everything at the wall, like posting almost every type of content they can, hoping something sticks. They're juggling entertaining posts, inspirational quotes, educational tidbits here and there, and a sprinkle of their personal life as well. I mean, I literally saw a coach. I believe she was a sales coach, and I don't want to take any names, but she literally posted a video of her dancing in a dancing studio. I mean, how do you expect to get more attention on your offer by posting that type of content? I mean, surely you can show your personal life on your stories, but when you're just posting stuff like on your reels or your YouTube shorts, you can't really do that because you're showing that to strangers, and strangers will just scroll off that because they don't trust you. But if you just post them on your stories, people who actually follow you are the ones who actually trust you, so they might be more interested in seeing that, right? So if you do this, like juggling through every type of post, you're trying to be the one-man variety show. Now, I get the logic. Many people think that, hey, if I mix it up, I'd keep my audience engaged and get more likes. Nobody wants the same, right? But here's the thing. Firstly, your likes don't matter if they don't convert. Secondly, this approach can muddle your message. It's like trying to read a book where every chapter is from a different genre. Confusing, right? So let's simplify this. Focus on only two types of micro content, right? So first one is your value content. Basically, this is where you are dishing out the gold. Okay, you will be offering solutions to the common problems people face, like your target audience faces, right? Share insights they might have not considered, and the main key thing here is to make it relatable, and make it actionable. So for instance, if you found any unique way to boost productivity, break it down for them. Don't just say, oh, I found this or found this, blah blah blah. No, just break it down for them and provide them actionable tips on how they can implement the same thing that you did for yourself. Okay, give them a step-by-step guide or share a personal story of how it transformed your workday, right? And when you start nailing these, you will also start getting this kind of attention on your short form content, right? This is just a screenshot from my page. So I've got many results like these for my clients as well. You can just check it in the description below, where the booking link is mentioned. You will be able to see more results like this. But anyways, back to the topic. Second type of content is the hand raiser content, and this is a type of content which will drive in the most amount of traffic to your macro assets. I'm going to talk about what these are in a second. But in this hand raiser content, basically you need to highlight the success stories, the breakthrough moments. Maybe if you've got a client who smashed their goals using your methods, so just share that journey, right? But remember, we want to keep this as concise as possible. You just want to pique their interest by posting these hand raiser content. Don't give everything away, but just the juicy parts, so it makes them want the macro asset, right? Now, these doesn't have to necessarily be some case studies, but you can also post something like, you just found a new way of doing XYZ. Now XYZ should be something that your target market actually cares about, otherwise it's not going to work. And now the people who comment X, or X will be the word, right? And the people who comment X are going to receive that for free, right? So just make people feel stupid for not engaging with this type of content. Okay, and always have a clear call to action to comment on the post. I'm going to talk more about this in a bit, like what's the sales funnel that we follow after this, right? So this is just an example of a hand raiser content. So basically, this goes over a new model that my mentor used to generate 7 figures profit every 90 days. Okay, so he basically made a hand raiser content around that. So as you can see, he has a good headline, and he's mentioning what it allowed him to do. He's mentioning the transformation, and now he's adding the call to action, won't scale. So he's just basically directing people on what they should do in order to receive that, right? So the bottom line is that every piece of micro content that you post should serve a purpose, like a meaningful purpose. Okay, it should either steer your target audience away from a challenge or guide them towards a goal. No more throwing spaghetti at the wall. So just ditch this scattergun approach and be strategic, focused, and intentional with the content. Because in this game, clear messaging is everything. Okay? And here's a pro tip. Share your micro content everywhere. Like, you don't need to, post different types of content on every platform, at least not in the initial stages, but just share the same content that you're posting on Instagram, the same reel that you're making for Instagram, post it on multiple platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, and even Twitter. But just in Twitter, make sure that you are not posting the video, but actually repurposing the video into text, right? Now, why we're doing this? It's because we want to get those eyeballs from wherever possible, right? I mean, remember, the goal is to get at least 1,000 strangers to know about your phone. So this is why we're doing that. And on top of that, one video might not perform on one platform, but the same video might perform extremely well on the other platforms. I mean, I have experienced this myself. So I'm telling you when I say this, that post on every single platform. Okay, we want to get as much attention as possible. Now, you've started generating attention. Cool. Now, most people, what they will do is directly try to convert them. And this is where they fuck up, to be honest. So if you're trying to go directly from here to here, sure, you can make an ROI, you can make a good return on investment, but you're always going to spend more to acquire more, right? Which is basically going to increase your acquisition cost over time, right? So I want you to look at Facebook. These guys have 2.85 billion monthly active users, right? They own the attention of billions of people. Now, just imagine if Mark Zuckerberg wants to sell his new XYZ product, right? How hard do you think it would be for him to sell it? How hard? I mean, as soon as he makes an announcement on Facebook about his new product, he will literally make billions in seconds without any new marketing costs. Why? Because he owns the attention through Facebook. Now, I can guarantee you that anyone who's making more than you owns more attention than you. I mean, guys, here's the thing. It's not always about getting attention. Everybody can get attention. But the people who can own it can use that forever, right? So, I mean, look at Hermosi. He owns attention of 5 million people. Now, 5 million is a number that I got from, combining his audience over all the platforms. That's basically the entire population of New Zealand. He basically owns the attention as large as New Zealand's population. I mean, that's crazy, right? So that's how he was mostly able to get signups for his book launch event as well. I mean, surely he used the strategies that he mentioned in the book, as he said, but I can guarantee you that 90% of the signups for his event was through his content. Now, Andrew Tate, he also owns attention, and he probably owns more attention than Hermosi. Now, I wasn't able to get the exact number, I mean, because his socials are banned, but he definitely owns more attention than Hermosi, and that's how he's able to get 200,000 signups per month for the year one, making him $10 million every single month. That's ridiculous, right? So if you're not owning the attention, this is literally the fastest way to go out of business in 2023 and for years to come. Because here's the thing, you will always be spending more and more money to either acquire clients, retarget them, or even upsell them. So it's important to not just generate the attention, but own the attention you generate if you don't want that to happen, if you don't want to go out of business in 2023 or for other years to come, right? And now you can do this by having people inside, maybe you have a Facebook group, you can make people join your Facebook group, or by, turning them into followers on all your social media platforms. But the best way that I believe is the best way is your emails, right? If you have people's emails, that's the best way to own attention. Why? Because, these platforms are like something that if your, maybe your account gets banned, you basically lost all the attention you have, right? So now this can't be the case with emails, right? So this is why I believe that if you can get someone's email, that's the best way to own their attention, because you can just, basically send one email and you can, now imagine you have an email list of 10,000 people, right? Now, if you send an email regarding your new offer that you're launching, right? Now, this email list is a targeted list, right? Not just any bunch of random email, right? So this is something that you will be able to build over time. So imagine you have now got an email list of 10,000 people and you launch your new product for, let's say, $1,000. Now, out of those 10,000 people, let's say only just 10% bought. How much money would you make? Just think about it, right? Now that we have, generated attention, we have owned the attention, it's time to convert the attention, right? Because what's the point of gaining or owning attention when you can't convert it? And most people go through it, to be honest. You don't want to be that person who has more attention than money. Now, guys, I don't want to take any names, but I've seen tons of people, tons of influencers online with a crap ton of followers, but they're broke. They're just simply broke. Why? because they don't know how to convert the attention they generate or own. They're just simply clueless about that. They just know how to get that attention, how to own that attention, but they don't know how to convert it, right? Now there are two ways. Now if you're someone like them who has a lot of attention, who owns a lot of attention, but you're still not getting clients from it, do these two ways. Okay. So the first way is by creating what I call macro assets. These are basically your long format videos. Okay, and these convert like crazy. I'm gonna share a story in a second. But guys, look, we're in the age of social media, right? People referring to your potential clients aren't just gonna take your word for it, right? Whatever you say, they're just not gonna take your word for it. They're gonna stalk you online. They're gonna compare you to every Joe, Jane, maybe they're even Aunt Karen's friend's son who also does what you do, right? I'm sure that most of you have got that because I have got that for sure. And then buy from the person who they trust the most, right? Because if there's no trust, nobody will buy from you, right? So while micro assets are great for generating attention, they might not be the most viable option when it comes to conversions. It's possible by implementing a sales funnel, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but you'll need to put in some effort in that, right? So this is why we need macro assets to build trust and nurture your audience, right? So basically, your goal is to generate the attention through your micro assets, which are your short form content, and direct them to your macro assets, which are your long form content, which is convert the attention. It's just like a trailer and a movie, right? So understand this. Before the movie comes out, you get a trailer, right? And the trailer is packed with the best action scenes. The most romantic kisses, all the stuff that makes you go, "Oh, I have to see this," right? That's a micro asset for generating the attention. Now, then you go see the actual movie, right? And you get the full story, the context, the emotional payoff. That's the macro asset, right? So basically, you're just creating the demand for the macro asset through the micro assets, and then just directing all that traffic, all that attention through your macro asset for converting. So if you can build macro content assets that solves the problems or inefficiencies of your prospects, right, changes the entire perspective or belief of the prospect. So maybe they have some limiting beliefs around your solution or your service, and if you create content around that. Third, handles objection. So maybe you get any objections on the sales calls very often, so you can create content asset around that. Fourth, pre-sales all your solution. And this is where things start to really kick off, because when you are hopping on a call with a prospect, and if they have already seen what you do, to just know how you do it, they're just basically pre-sold on your solution. You don't have to hop on a call with them to just describe everything you do. They're already aware of that. But this is where this helps. Now, fifth, educates them on how to go from point A to point B by positioning yourself as the only person who can help them reach there. Now, all of our target audience wants to go somewhere, right? From their current situation to their desired situation. So if in your macro content assets, you can show them how to do that, holy shit, you're going to make an insane amount of money. Without even needing to sell them. You know why? Because after your prospects consume these types of content over and over again, it's going to nurture them, and the prospects will literally sell themselves in the process. Let me show you how. So let's say you are an agency coach, okay, and you help people, start and scale their agencies. Now, you know that your target audience faces a problem that is to build an offer. So now you create a content asset around that and post it on YouTube, okay? Now, once you create that, two things are bound to happen. Either your target audience will get value from it, or they won't. Now, if they do, so let me just zoom in a little so you can see a bit more clearly. Right, so if they do, they're going to consume more of your content. So basically, they first consume your content asset, which was around solving a problem that was offer creation. Then they gain value from it, which led them to build trust on you. Then when the trust is built up, they're going to consume more. Now here let's say the content asset is around handling an objection that you face very oftenly on the call. So the objection will be handled pre-hand, and then they're probably gonna watch more of your content, then gain more value, then the more trust build up, and eventually they're gonna probably subscribe if you've created the right assets beforehand, right? Because you're constantly helping them. Then they're gonna consume more of your content and eventually hop on the call to just give you the money. Why? Because you solved their problem, you handled the objection, you build the trust. You even this doesn't necessarily relate to hopping on a call, but you also own their attention. That means you can retarget them over and over again later down the road if they don't buy from you now. But fourth, you also showed a case study, right? So basically, they just consume 3 or 4 pieces of content, build up the trust, and then they hopped on a call with you. So it's basically you leave no reason for them to not buy from you, right? Because everything is being handled pre-hand. So they will just be on the call to not give you objections, but the credit card details. I mean, you won't even need to sell them on your process or what you do, etc. Because everything will be just taken care of beforehand. And guys, here's the thing. People buy from people who they trust can solve their problems and help them reach their desired goal. And this is exactly what these sales assets do by providing them so much value before they even spend a dime that they just want to throw money once they're on the call. So it doesn't matter if someone copies, maybe other aspects of your business. I'm sure that, people are trying to copy each other every now and then, right? So maybe people copy your offer, they copy your scripts or anything like that, but they cannot copy the trust and authority you will build through these assets. Now that's what sets you apart from all the competition as well, right? Giving you a very good competitive edge. And the crazy part, once you get these assets down, you will not be selling anymore. They will be buying. And the reason I can vouch for this is because a few months ago, I was struggling to grow my agency, like for real. Okay. Then I hit up YouTube. I mean, that's what we all do when we're facing any problems, right? In a business. And I found Serge stuff. So Serge is my mentor. And it was like, when I watched through his content, it was basically like he was talking to me on each of the problem I was facing, right? I just couldn't stop watching. So long story short, I was so sold by watching his content because of the value he provided with these sales assets that I was literally scraping every last penny I had to invest with him. And I was flat broke at that moment. I literally took a loan to invest with him. And then, when I gathered the money, I got on a sales call and I was just there to hand over my credit card. I mean, these are the payment details. I switched over to a payment plan, but I was just there to hand over my credit card details. And the sales rep literally didn't have to pitch me, convince me, or anything like that. He just, basically had to see if I was a right fit. I mean, when I was on the call, I still remember, I was literally like, bro, I know this can help me. Here's my 5 grand. Please get me started. To date, I still wonder about the closing rate of the sales rep. So, guys, the lesson here is to make your marketing, right? Make your positioning with your marketing so good that your prospects are already reaching out for their wallets before they even open a call with you, right? Because you see, I never met Serge. We never exchanged a word. Yet, through his macro assets, it won me over. Think about that, pal. And by the way, here's a pro tip for creating macro assets. I mean, I've already given you the topics on what topics you should create them on, right? So here's a pro tip as well. Whenever you're creating macro assets, ask yourself a simple question, okay? Would people be willing to pay for this info? If the answer is a big fat yes, and just be honest with yourself here, okay? Because it's just a conversation between you and you. No one's around, okay? So if the answer is a big fat yes, you are on the right track. If not, get back to drawing board. Don't put it up. Just don't put it up because it's just gonna waste. You're just gonna waste your time and energy. Now, the second way, which is the sales funnel, which I mentioned earlier, is through warm outreach. Okay, so this will be used when you get followers on Instagram, Twitter, or basically on all the platforms where you can message people. Okay, plus when someone joins your Facebook group as well. So as your tribe of follower grows, you'll start spotting potential customers in the crowd. Right now, here's the thing: don't play the waiting game. This is what most people do. They just wait for people to come and reach out to them for, oh, do you do this? Can you help me with this? Don't wait for it. Okay, reach out to them. Be proactive. It's just like being in a store. You know how there's always a store assistant in Walmart or basically in any store around to help you find what you're looking for? But some folks prefer to, just wander around aimlessly. Maybe because they're shy. Who knows, right? Well, sadly, most of your potential clients might just be like that. And your job is to be that friendly store assistant in the store who approaches with a smile. So instead of waiting for them to reach out, you reach out to them. Right? And to make your message feel more like a friendly chat than a sales pitch, I mean, this is what many people do as well. Like they just appear too salesy in the very first contact. We just don't want to do that, right? So you can use the CQIA method, which stands for Compliment, qualify, identify, and ask. So this is a very simple framework that I use for myself as well. So here's a breakdown of it. Okay. So first, whenever someone joins a Facebook group or follows you or etc., you start the conversation on a positive note by genuinely complimenting the prospect. Okay. Now this could be about their recent achievements. So maybe you just go through their profile and search for any achievements they have, or maybe their content or any specific aspect that caught your attention. Okay. Now, this not only breaks the ice, but also sets a friendly tone for the rest of the conversation. Okay. All right. So once done with that, we need to qualify the prospect before diving deeper. So basically, ask any questions to determine if the prospect is even a good fit for your business. Okay. This step ensures you're investing time and effort in prospects who are genuinely interested and can benefit from your offerings. Right. So maybe you can prepare a set of strategic questions that make sure that you are able to qualify the prospect correctly. Right. Now if they are, then smartly ask for their email addresses as well. Okay, because we want to be retargeting them through email nurturing sequences if they don't decide to book a call in this particular step. Right. So now I know that you might say, oh, we already own their attention? Yes, we do. There are our followers, but we just want to own their attention in as many ways as possible. And like I said earlier, having emails is the best way to do that. Okay. So once you've qualified the prospect and got their emails, delve into understanding their goals and the obstacles they're facing in order to achieve them. Okay. This will allow you to tailor your approach and offer solutions that resonate with their specific needs. So maybe you can ask them what strategies have they tried before to achieve the goal they want to achieve, what worked and what didn't, and something like that, right? So now you've chatted a bit, and you get what they're struggling with, right? Cool. Now it's the time to slide in with an offer, right? So guys, just look for the right opportunity in the conversation, okay? So don't just just offer a call right off the bat, okay? Just wait for it, build the momentum, qualify the prospect, have a chat, completely understand what they're going through, and then and only then slide in with your offer. Okay, so basically just offer them a free chat to dive deeper into fixing their issues. But hey, if you've already got a YouTube video that nails their problem, so basically when you are chatting with them in this phase, the identification phase, and you have got a YouTube video that solves their problem, you can just basically send them over. Right? Why waste your time with anyone on the call if you have solved that problem beforehand with your macro assets? Right? So this is the beauty of them. You can use them in pretty much a lot of situations. Right? So after they've checked that out, maybe what you can do is just hit them up once again and ask if it helped and if they're vibing with it. Right? And then if you get a good positive response, suggest them to book a call to talk about how you can help them level up. Okay? And trust me, most people know a sales pitch is coming when you do this, but they'll still jump on call, which is a pretty good sign that you basically know that the prospect is somewhere interested. That's why they are making an effort to book on a call with you, right? And in most cases, they will just buy, but only if you hook them up with some real value beforehand. Which is why it's super important, like I mentioned earlier, that create your macro assets very wisely on the problems that your target audience is going through and all the other topics I mentioned. Right? So do this with every potential client who follows you. And on top of that, you don't even need to do this yourself. Okay. You can just, maybe have a setter or a growth specialist. You can just hire them and train them according to your offer. And you can have them doing this for you, because we need to have leverage in our business, because what's a business without leverage? Right? It's not a business, in my opinion, at least. Now, secondly, when people are blowing up your comment section in the hand raiser content, so if you remember that we have a call to action in the hand raiser content to comment on the post in order to receive the macro asset, you promise. So what you're going to do is shoot them a link to your macro asset over the DMs. Okay. Now, keep in mind that the macro asset should be posted in your Facebook group first. Okay. So you just copy the link from the group of the post. Okay. And then send them that, which will guide them over to your exclusive Facebook group. Now, here's the catch. They will not be able to join directly. Okay, so to get in, they've got to answer a few questions. Now these will be some strategic questions that will help you start a conversation with them. Okay, identify their constraints and make them want to give their email addresses, just like we did here. Okay, so here's an example. So these are the questions from my Facebook group. Whenever I'm not sure if you are watching this inside the Facebook group or on YouTube, but if you have joined the Facebook group already, you might have answered these questions, right? So basically, the first question is I ask people, why do you think you're not already adding 30 grand every 30 days? Right. Second question is, what offer service are you selling to what niche? Because these questions basically help me start identify their constraints, their problems that are stopping them from achieving 30 grand every 30 days, right? They help me start a good conversation with them without appearing salesy. So once you have got these strategy questions dialed in, and once they're part of the group, they firstly get access to the asset you promised, right? And here's where conversions come into play. Someone from your team, maybe as earlier, a growth specialist or a setter, will start a chat based on their answers and try to book them on a call. Okay, and this is why it's super important to have strategic questions in the entry questionnaire. Now, I recommend have a maximum of 3 to 5 questions, no more than that, because that creates that basically just creates more friction for them to actually get inside the group, which is definitely we don't want, right? We want as many people as we can in our group, right? So these growth specialists can again use the CQIA framework, but this time they won't need to collect email addresses because we already did that here, right? Now, if the chat doesn't lead to a call, no stress. That's where email nurturing sequences come in. And these are your safety, right? I'm not sure if you can see this, but we are basically not letting any qualified lead, any qualified prospect go away. We are going to eventually convert them, okay? So these email nurturing sequences are a set of 10 to 14 strategic emails that are sent over 6 to 8 weeks. Now, these emails should also have the macro assets, because that's what's going to do the heavy lifting. Okay, so if you're just writing emails and just sending them like that, they probably will convert, they probably won't. But if you're attaching your macro assets to them, like if you've got a cool case study, you can send them in the email nurturing sequence, and that's what's going to do the heavy lifting. That's what's going to build the trust, right? Your macro assets. Okay, so the goal with these emails is to nurture the prospect so much that they basically feel stupid not hopping on a call with you and buying your services. And these can only be done if they consume your sales assets, right? So it's super important that you nail them down and post them consistently. And you can also add them to a daily list and a daily email list if you have one in addition to the sequence. Now, let me actually share a quick story that my mentor Serge Guattari shared to explain the importance of these emails, right? So that was the first time when I started realizing the importance of having an email nurturing sequence and things like that. So what happened was a long time back, Serge had a sales call with a prospect who was unfortunately not interested in his offer at that time. Okay, so long story short, what he did was add the prospect to his long-term nurture sequence, which is basically a set of 14 to 15 emails, like I told you just now, and he sent that over 6 to 8 weeks period to nurture the non-interested people. Okay, and he also added the prospect, this prospect, to his weekly email list. Now, after a week or two, an email was sent to the prospect, regarding one of his content assets. At that time, the prospect watched the video and immediately replied to the email asking to book a call. And you know what happened? Later, he hopped on a call with the prospect and collected more than 10 grand from that prospect, who wasn't even interested in the first place, in the very first contact. This is the power of email nurturing sequences, guys. I mean, when I first heard it, it just blew my mind. But the best part is that you can do it too. So make sure you have these in place, okay? And whenever someone doesn't just book a call with you by your marketing efforts, just add them to this list and let it do the magic. But make sure that you're backing this up with the macro assets you've got, okay? Leverage them wherever you can. And additionally, by regularly sharing more of your best stuff in the group, in the community that you are building, they will be itching to talk to you sooner or later. Because when you are in a place where you are constantly seeing people achieve results with a specific method, you'll obviously you'll naturally want to hop onto that, right? But this will only happen if you actually bring results for your clients, right? And if you post them in your Facebook group or whatever community you're building, right? And on top of that, keep promoting your YouTube macro assets in this group as well. Okay, this is gonna nurture the prospects who didn't buy from you even more. Okay, now here's a pro tip. 2 weeks after you drop the big macro asset in your Facebook group, like when you post the hand raiser content, you should have created a macro asset before that, right? And you should have posted that in your Facebook group. So after 2 weeks, what you can do is share that asset on YouTube as well. So it's like getting two for the price of one, right? But I still recommend you post more exclusive YouTube videos and keep the macro assets in the Facebook group separate from the macro assets on YouTube. However, you can always post the macro assets inside from a Facebook group to YouTube. Okay. Now, as prospects consume micro content, they'll want to know more about the genius behind, right? And that's you. So, which will naturally lead them to your profile funnel, right? So, for example, when you see someone's video online, like when you're scrolling through reels and you see a very cool video that speaks to you, what do you do? What is the first thing that you do? In most cases, you'll probably check out their profile. So this is where we're going to start the profile funnel. So for the profile funnel, you first need to optimize your profiles. This is what I like to call the first impression phase. So let me share a quick story. A while back, a buddy of mine was on the hunt for a new car. So he walks into a showroom, a very good car showroom, okay? But instead of gleaming cars under bright lights, he found himself in a dimly lit basement because the showroom was under renovation. So the cars were basically parked in the basement, right? For showcasing stuff. So what happened was the ambience threw him off. And even though he had a great chat with the sales rep, he walked out without making a purchase. And when I asked him why, he said, the setting just didn't feel right. You see, it's the same with your online profile. If it doesn't resonate or connect, potential clients will move on, just like in this case. If the cars were under the right lights, were in the proper, place where they should be, he probably must have bought that. But just because his first impression was not that good, he didn't make any purchase. So how do you make your profile a magnet for your potential clients? Basically, you need to ask yourself these three questions. How can I make my potential client think that I can help solve their problems as soon as they visit my profile? How can I make it easy for them to contact? How can I make them take action right when they visit my profile? Now, once you answer these questions, you will be able to optimize your profile in the best way possible. But hey, if you're scratching your head, don't worry. Here's a breakdown to help you out. So you can follow this for every platform that you're posting on, but I'm just going to take Instagram as an example here. So firstly is your bio. So your bio is just like a mini sales pitch. Okay, so in just a few words here, you need to tell the visitors who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. Okay, so this is a very simple bio structure that we follow. So firstly, it starts with an offer optimized headline. So in here, you need to start with a clear statement about what you offer. So you can use the formula like helping. So here you put your target audience achieve the specific outcome that you promise them in the time frame that you promise using. Now this is optional, like you can maybe skip this if the lines are getting too messy. So using your unique method if you have one. Okay, so for example, helping entrepreneurs boost their brand in 30 days using tailored marketing strategies. This is just a very flat example, right? Now once you've got the offer optimized headline, the next thing you need to have is a direct call to action. So directly after your headline, guide your visitors onto the next step. So a simple DM X to learn how can be very effective. Okay, now X is the word they are gonna DM you. So I'm sure that you might have seen some buyers of some creators online. They have a DM me the word to get started, something like that in the bios, right? So this is what this does. This makes it very easy for the prospect to actually contact you. Okay, this makes it clear and easy for potential clients to reach out, right? So when they send X, which is the word you're going to put in, you can use the CQIA framework, which I mentioned earlier, to have them book on a call with you, right? And if they don't book a call, you know what to do, right? So the next line after your call to action is going to be the macro asset promotion. So basically your profile should feature a link to your macro asset. Here you can use a catchy headline to explain what the video is about. Okay, like 10K to 30K per month free training. This is just an example. Okay, now this could be a link to your YouTube video. Maybe you post your asset on YouTube or an asset inside your Facebook group as well. Okay, now here's the thing, guys. Make it the only link in your bio. Okay, and trust me, it will drive crazy conversions because of the macro assets funnel that I described earlier. Remember, it's gonna drive crazy conversions. Okay, so don't clutter your bio with other links or booking pages, especially don't put any link trees in there. Okay, so just keep it simple and focused on that one macro asset. Now this macro asset can be, maybe a free training, just like in this example, or maybe a case study if you have one. Okay, so feel free to use the emojis in your bio, but keep the text short enough so that people don't have to click more to read the whole thing. Okay, because people never actually read the whole bio, they never really click on more. So we want to be able to basically convey whatever we want to convey in just a few lines, right? So they don't have to click more. Now once you've got your bio dialed in, the second thing to do is your pin post. Now, don't just pin your most watched videos. I mean, this is a very common mistake that I see people make. So a bunch of coaches I've seen are pinning their most watched videos to the top of their profiles. And I'm scratching my head and wondering why. Because unless that video is meant for, driving conversions, what's the point? I mean, think about it. When someone lands on your profile, they'll first check out your bio, which by the way, we already optimized, right? Next, their eyes will dart to your top 3 videos. So we need to make sure that these videos establish trust, build authority, and make them want to take action right then and there. Remember? So they won't take action by seeing the number of views you got on the video, right? But with what you've actually got inside the video. So stop pinning your most viewed videos and pin these instead. So here's the video number 1. The goal with this video is to get people to click the link in your bio, which would lead them to the macro asset. Now, this will push them into the macro assets funnel, which I discussed earlier. Okay. Now, keep this video friendly and chatty. Okay. So no hard selling. You can start off by calling out your target audience. Then, you can talk about the problem they're going through, the problem you can solve for them. And at the end with a simple call to action, like want to know more, click the link in my bio. And basically this video right here will just be, a mini version of your macro asset. Okay. Now, video 2 and 3 should be your client testimonial or case study videos. If someone's, singing your praises on video, that's cool. Pin it. Now, if you don't have video testimonials, no sweat. You can, maybe create a carousel post with text and pictures. So if, most of the times what happens is people send messages saying, thank you, this worked for me, or things like that. So what you can do is just, create a carousel post with whatever, you can take a screenshot of that and you can just create a carousel post featuring them. Okay. The point here is to show that real people have benefited from what you offer. Now, lastly, let's talk about highlights. Now, there's not much to say about them, but, just have one specific highlight for testimonials in your profile. Okay. And that's it. That's basically it. So with this formula, you are well on your way to creating a profile that not only stands out, but also resonates deeply with those you aim to serve and drive conversions. And you see, many folks, like seriously, a lot of people messes up. They literally have random photos or bios that just basically don't speak to anyone, right? But now you've got the secret sauce. So make sure you're not wasting it, right? So if you set up your profile like this, you're going to be a magnet for your potential clients while your competitors are still trying to figure it out. So after you implement both of these conversion strategies, which I shared correctly, you're going to get so many clients. Like, I can't stress this enough. You're going to get so many clients that you literally will have to stop the applications. You can just try this for yourself if you don't believe me. And the best part is, in the second case, which is warm outreach, the growth specialist can, use the macro assets, which we created in the first way. If the prospect ever, raises a question during a conversation or, describes a problem that you have already solved, and if you've made an asset around that, your growth specialist or your setter can basically leverage your macro assets during the conversation, right? Now, let me share a conversion hack that's going to make sure that these people who book calls actually show up. Because, sometimes what happens is people change their minds because, of some XYZ reasons. I call this the call booking remorse, right? So here's the thing. After they book a call with you, set an email automation that sends them 3 email reminders. Okay. But here's the twist. Attach some of your best content in them, what I call macro assets. Now, in the email, there should be specific macro assets. Okay. These could be your case studies or anything that tackles common objections. Like, for example, if you're a fitness coach and people often say getting fit takes too long on your sales call, you can maybe have an asset that best that myth. So what this does is make sure that they don't have any doubts about you or your service, because you will be having your case study videos or your process selling videos, which I mentioned earlier. And even if they are new to your world or were not nurtured enough beforehand, the macro assets in these emails will pre-sell them easily. And thirdly, which is the most important factor, it will head off any objections before they even come up, because you will be sending out objection handling content. Okay, so this is something that most people don't notice. Okay, and they wonder why no one's showing up for their calls, or giving them objections after objections on the call. So don't be that person, right? The goal here is to literally make it unreasonable for them to not hop on a call with you and buy from you. So guys, when you implement what I just shared, they will be in this never ending flywheel. I mean, even if they don't buy from you in the very first interaction, they will literally sell themselves in the process one day or the other. So, there's no way you wouldn't close every qualified lead eventually. Okay. And after you implement this correctly, whatever I just shared, you will literally be booking calls after calls and signing clients day in, day out, putting in the same amount of effort as the outbound staff while reaping a ton more benefits now. Right? But now you might say, Divyansh, everything sounds great, but doesn't organic content takes too much time? I mean, yes, for sure, like good things take time. Fortunes aren't built overnight, right? So you're basically building a long-term foundation. But hey, as entrepreneurs, we should always be looking out for ways that can boost our growth, right? And make it faster. After all, speed is the key. So this is why if you combine this with paid ads, you will see results much faster. Now, you might say, but didn't you vote against paid ads in the beginning? Yes, I did. Why? Because most of the time what happens is when people run ads, they run them for the purpose of conversions, which is why they always end up spending tons of money for good returns, and once they stop running ads, they stop making money. It's just like a do or die situation. We don't want that. We're smarter than this. So here we won't be running ads for conversion purposes. We will be running ads for building an audience, aka for owning the attention, because the conversions part will be taken care of by the macro assets and the sales funnel I described earlier. Okay, so what you can do is run ads on your pinned videos where you talk about clicking the link in your bio, your hand raiser content where the call action is to comment, your value assets where the call to action is to drop you a follow. So what does this do? If we talk about the pinned video, it will make them go check and click the link in your bio. Okay, now starting with the macro assets funnel. In the second case, it will lead them to more comments, leading to the Facebook group funnel, right? In the third case, it will lead them to obviously drop you a follow. And once the potential clients have started following you, you know what to do. You will start reaching out to them using the CQIF framework. So on top of that, by running IG ads, you will be able to build an audience of targeted prospects. Okay, not just random people, because you have targeting options available. Okay, so you can maybe when you're running Instagram ads, what you can do is set the goal for profile visits. Okay, now let's say in the worst case scenario, they didn't do any of what is meant to happen, right? They didn't do this, they didn't do this, they didn't do this, right? So the least they're gonna do is check your profile. And because your profile is now optimized, they will now enter the profile funnel, ultimately fulfilling our main purpose, which is to own and convert the attention, right? So these ads are not for selling people, though we will be selling them in the back end, but the sole purpose of them, the front end purpose of these ads, is to own their attention and then convert the attention using the macro assets and the sales funnel. Okay, so we are building an audience by running these ads, okay, which we can leverage now and for years to come. So in a nutshell, in whatever I just described to you, the whole content triage system, this is what's happening. So we are using micro assets. Okay, so just let me bring myself down here. Okay, all right. Okay, I think my Wi-Fi just went out, so I'll be back online. Okay, just leave that. Right, so what we're doing is basically using micro assets plus ads to generate the attention, which is allowing us to reach millions of people. Okay, because we will be posting on multiple platforms and in a consistent volume. Now, what this will eventually do, because of the value we provide and our call to actions, people will either become members of our Facebook group, or they will become our followers, or we will have their email addresses. Now, in this step, we will be owning their attention. Now, to convert the attention, what we're doing is using macro assets, which are related to problem solving of our target audience, objection handling and changing their beliefs. Now, what these are doing is, because we will be providing even more value in them, it's going to build up more trust, which will, eventually nurture them and pre-sell them. Now, what they're going to do is book a call with us, and when they do, we're going to start a call booked sequence, which I just described to you earlier. Okay, 3 reminder emails. Now, these reminder emails will also use macro assets, which means that again gonna build up more trust. They're gonna get more nurtured, and again gonna be pre-sold before they even hop on a call with you. So eventually, once they hop on a call, they will be just there to give you their credit card details and not objections, right? The second way we are using here is through growth specialists, through warm outreach, right? So the growth specialist or a setter in your business uses the CQIA framework whenever someone follows you or joins your Facebook group. So the growth specialist is using the CQIA framework. They are doing warm outreach by also leveraging the macro assets that we created here, and again the same thing is happening here. Trust build up, nurturing the prospect, and we're pre-selling them. Okay, now once they book a call, again we're going to start a call book sequence, and if they don't, in any of the cases, if they don't, we're going to start a long-term nurture sequence, which is which will also contain the macro assets, eventually leading them to a simple close. So do you see, guys, how using the sales as approach is such a better way than using cold DMs and ads alone? I mean, we are basically leaving the prospect no chance to not hop on a call with us and buy from us, right? So the funny part is, these macro assets that you create, here, these can also be used in your outbound campaigns, making them 10 times better. Now, let me show you how. So this is how most people go about, outbound campaigns. They will hire $3 per hour VAs. The VAs will, then message the prospects using a script. They will probably struggle to book calls, and even if they do, the calls are harder to close. Why? Because there is no trust built up in this thing. There's no trust built up. The prospect is not even being nurtured here. The prospect has no idea of what you do and how you can help them, basically, right? You don't know their problems, etc., anything like that. So on top of that, you need to give before you get, and you're not giving anything here. You're just asking for it, asking for them to book a call. Now, here's a new way. So you hire growth specialists, okay, or maybe you can, train your $3 per hour VAs on this. Now, these guys message using a script, okay, using the CQIA framework. Then they also use a process selling VSL. So basically, the process selling VSL is something which addresses your target audience's pain problems, okay, then provides them your solution as a solution to their problem, okay. So what this is going to do is basically in this you're going to describe your whole process of what you do and how you solve this specific problem for the for your target audience. Okay, so what this is going to do is sell the process pre-hand and nurture the prospect. Okay, then once the call is booked, you're going to start the call book sequence, which is going to nurture them further and eventually leading to an easy close. And if the call is not booked, the growth specialist or the setter just figures out the inefficiencies, sends macro assets if required, leverage the macro assets which you created earlier, and adds them to a long-term nurturing sequence, right? Then again, what happens is this solves the inefficiencies, problems of the prospect, okay, communicating in a way that positions yourself as the solution. Now, what this does is further nurtures them, again, leading to an easy close, right? Guys, the whole key here is to just make your process selling VSL so good that the prospect just can't resist hopping on a call with you. Okay, so an easy process selling structure process selling VSL structure you can follow is start with introducing yourselves, build credibility from the start by explaining the things you have accomplished, your case studies, things like that. Then address the prospect's problem, then provide your solution. Just describe how you tackle everything with your solution, and then in the end just insert a call to action by simply saying you can book a call for a 15-minute free walkthrough of how we can actually help implement what I just showed you in your business, something like that, right? Now, use this strategy in your next outbound campaign and just compare the response. Just don't take my word for it, just try to do this and compare the response. I swear to God, you will be surprised. Don't take my word for it, try it. Okay, now guys, you have all the sauce, both when it comes to generating more calls and getting more clients. through inbound and outbound. Okay, both. Now you are a vice business owner, and now it's your job to choose which one to focus more time on, spend more money, and more effort on, right? Just think about where you're getting the most leverage, where you're getting the most return for your buck. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? So if I were you, I would focus solely on inbound. Why? Because just imagine you are in a bar, okay? There's a woman standing across the other side, okay? So you are interested in her, and now I'll give you two scenarios. Tell me in which scenario you have more chances of getting in bed with her, right? So first one, you approach her. Second one, she approaches you. It's obviously the second case, right? Because when she approaches you, that means she likes you. She wants you, which makes the whole process easier. But if you were to approach her, that'd be more difficult. Why? Because that means you want her and you don't know if she likes you. So in order to make her like you, you'd probably have to talk to her, go on a few days, take her out to shopping, and stuff like that, build that connection, and then you have the chances of getting in bed with her, right? So similarly, in cold outbound, it's the same thing. You message a prospect not knowing if they like you. So you try to build that trust and connection, try to sell them on your solution, etc. And you still might not sign them as a client. Because by approaching them, you convey here that you want them. But in the inbound approach, it's the other way around. They want you. They're knocking your doors, right? On top of that, you build an audience and a tribe of buyers who want you. All of the big giants understood this, guys. Alex Ramones, Grant, Andrew Tate. And this is why you see so many billionaires and millionaires, focusing on doing this. I mean, just think about it for a second. Why would they spend time doing this out of all the strategies of labor? Because it provides leverage. Guys, if Alex Ramosi, Mr. Beast, Andrew Tate, Grant Cardone, and all the people who have an audience like them just basically lost everything, except their audience, they'd be rich again in no time. And you know why. You know it now, right? So, in a nutshell, following this system not only helps you at 30K per month, but also lays the groundwork for those 500K per month strategies. Because, like I mentioned during the start of this presentation, that my mentor Serge Katari has used these strategies and frameworks to scale to 500 grand per month in just less than 3 years. Secondly, it ensures a steady stream of qualified leads and closes all of them eventually, right? With minimal sweat on your part. Third, it not only draws in right folks, but also warms them up and gets them excited to chat with you. Fourth, you get the prospect not just to book on a call with you, but to show up eagerly and ready to dive in with minimal objections, because you will be using call book sequences, right? It also nurtures and pre-sells the prospect before even hopping on a call with you, skyrocketing your closing rates without you needing to improve your sales skills. It checks a passive income box by leveraging sales assets that work for you in the background while you soak up the sun in Bali. 7, it also allows you to flip the script. Meaning, instead of chasing clients now, you are basically having them seek you out, right? It's also helping you build a personal brand, which ensures you build a community of raving fans that don't waste your time and reap benefits for years to come. Not just today, but for years to come, right? Which is something that can never be achieved with just cold bound or paid ads. Never, right? 9, it also optimizes your outbound campaigns for 10x better results. So now you've seen the whole content cache system, the roadmap to help you add that sweet 30K per month. I've laid it all out in this video, but guys, let's be real for a second. I mean, and I know that while all the info is all there, actually making it work, that's a whole different ballgame. I mean, every person's journey is unique, and I couldn't possibly cram every tiny detail into this one video, right? But you can totally take this and run with it. I mean, no doubt to that. You can see success with it. You can, dive deep, do the research, create your offer, dial in the messaging, create assets, email sequences, optimize profiles, and hustle hard, right? Sales for everything. I'll even provide a checklist for you in the description for you to follow as well, right? To make things even easier. But friend to friend, that's a mountain of work. And while I believe you've got the chops to do it, why go it alone? I mean, it's like trying to build a car from scratch when you could just buy one that's ready to roll. Let me ask you this. What's the difference between a business that grows fast and a business that grows slow? Leverage. And you see, you could do all these things yourself, which I mentioned, okay? Everyone can do everything, but it's not about doing everything. It's about doing one thing and doing it the best. I mean, there are so many things I myself could be, doing in my business, but I'm not. Why? Because I'm good at some other things, which is why I've hired people for the things I'm not good at myself. Although I have all the information on how to do that, right? This is called leverage. Hiring people who are better than what you want to do, right? So now you are amazing of what you do, whether that's fitness coaching, sales coaching, or whatever you bring to the table. And me, my job is helping folks just like you hit those big numbers. So if you're about leverage and want to team up with someone who's walked this path, made the mistakes, and come out the other side, I've got your back. I'm offering a partnership that ensures you only spend time changing others' lives with your coaching while we change yours, right? With our done for you services. But, and there's always a but, this is only for you. You've tried to make your mark online and felt like you were shouting into the void. You've got a high ticket offer that's at least 2 to 3K plus, and you're making at least 8 grand per month because, this isn't for total newbies, to be honest. And you're tired of feeling like you're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks. You've been let down by other programs and are ready for something real. You're looking for results, and that too fast, right? You want a team that's got you back so you can focus on what you do best, and you are ready for a done for you system where we roll up our sleeves and get to work for you. So if this sounds like you, let me show you how this works. Okay, so this is what we will do. So firstly, it's done for you market research. Our team will analyze the competitors, identifying gaps and opportunities that you can leverage. Okay, even when it comes to offer creation or just finding the pain points of the target market, everything like that. And isn't just about knowing what your target audience is doing. It's about understanding what they're missing, right? So by doing this, we will ensure that the content produced is not only relevant but also unique and impactful. This approach saves you countless hours of guesswork and ensures that your marketing efforts are laser focused on what truly matters. Okay. Second is done for your profile optimizations. We'll give your social media profiles a complete makeover. Okay, ensuring that they are tailored to your offer and optimized for maximum conversions. Right. So from Instagram to YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, we'll refine every detail, including your banners, bio settings, pin posts, etc. Okay, so you don't even have to lift a finger doing that. Thirdly, is done for your micro assets. We'll handle everything from planning them to scripting to editing and tailored distribution. Okay, we will even publish them on your behalf. Okay, so we'll craft high quality micro assets consistently, and crafting high quality micro assets consistently can take a lot of time and effort. But hey, we'll take care of all of that for you, so you don't have to burn the midnight oil trying to come up with ideas and scripts and worrying if it will work, right? Because we've got you covered. Fourthly, we'll install an inbound sales funnel tailored to your business. Okay, whatever funnels I described earlier, we're gonna install them into your business specifically. Okay, this includes setting up an automated VSR, handling all the tech intricacies, crafting landing pages, Facebook group setup, emails, compelling copywriting, and branding elements. Basically everything. Okay, we'll handle all the heavy lifting so you can avoid the headaches of tech glitches and funnel installations and things like that, allowing you to enjoy a smoother business operation. Okay, and we will make sure that you get the maximum amount of inbound traffic converting into clients that just want to pay you money. Other than that, we will also do all the tech side of and management side of things. We'll set up a custom tracking software tailored to your campaigns, okay, to track the inbound things and conversions and things like that. But we don't just stop there, we'll also manage it. Okay, so management is included. You don't have to manage this yourself. I mean, you will have access to it, but you will basically use this for just seeing the metrics because we will manage this for you, right? So we will update the data, generate reports, and use these insights to refine the strategies. Now, this ensures you know exactly how your campaigns are performing, allowing for data-driven decisions, right? Now, we will also help you craft macro assets, which is the heartbeat of the system, as you might have already guessed, right? So this is not actually done for you because we can't actually script out every single word, right? This is humanly not possible, and because macro assets are highly tailored to your target audience. I mean, you have to have a very deep understanding of your target audience. We surely can't have that kind of understanding of your audience that you already have. So what we will do is we will be right there with you. Okay, we'll provide you the plug and play templates for scripting, brainstorming ideas that the market wants, not just random topics. And we will also offer you guidelines for distribution. Okay, now don't worry, we will do as much work as we can, even in the macro assets. We will try to distribute this over all the platforms, like I mentioned earlier, and even provide you with many ideas. So other than that, we will do all the copywriting stuff for you, from email sequences to warm outreach messages to assets. We'll craft compelling copies that sound just like you. Okay, they don't just sound scripted, but just like you, and make the prospects book on a call, so that you don't have to stare at a blank screen or say guess your writing. Okay, we'll handle everything for you. Now, we'll also provide you with trained growth specialists, okay, tailored to your offer and manage them to ensure optimal performance. So you don't even need to be in the DMs answering your leads, because you will be getting them from the community and your content, etc. Right? So now you can only focus on what you want to do on your business, okay, instead of responding to queries all day. So the headaches of hiring people, managing them, training them, etc. all gone. We'll take care of that for you. Lastly, we'll also hop on a call with you and we'll refine your go-to market offer. Okay, this involves deep target avatar research, owning your messaging, and ensuring your offer is positioned so well that people literally start a savings account for your service. Right? Now, some bonuses that are included for the first 3 people that join in. So this is tri-weekly one-on-one consultation. So me or my team will regularly hop on calls with you every single week. There will be 3 calls. That will be the time duration will be 30 to 45 minutes. So we'll make sure to do regular check-ins, ensuring we address growth challenges, refine strategies, and keep everything on track. Okay, so you can basically ask us any questions related to your business, regarding the offer, the service delivery, marketing, sales, onboarding, fulfillment, everything. Okay, we've got you covered. Secondly, you will also get access to our Rolodex as you scale. Okay, you will be able to tap into our network of commission-only salespeople, right? Because as you grow, you won't be able to take as many calls as you are right now, right? So we will actually help you, get access to highly skilled closes, so you can basically, remove your job as a person who takes sales calls. Okay, so this access is invaluable. Now, lastly, we'll also provide you some guides and frameworks, from speaking and filming guides to proven IG story conversion frameworks. We've got all the resources to boost your efforts. Okay, now on partnering with us, you've basically got a whole team of marketing nerds who are stoked to work just for you, and we basically turn your social media into a client magnet, and you won't have to do a single thing, because almost, as you can already see, almost 95% of the stuff is done for you. Okay, I mean, seriously, you could be binge watching your favorite show or catching some Z's, and we will be here creating for you. Okay, so we basically handle all the heavy lifting, so you can stay away from the stress, second guessing, and those never-ending work days, because I can assure you this takes a lot of time. Plus, just think about all the free time you'll have. I mean, that's an added bonus, right? So if you're stuck in a rut and can't seem to add an extra 30K every single month, let's talk. I mean, just hit the link in the description to book a call. But hey, just so you know, we're kind of picky, right? So we're only looking for high ticket coaches, right? So it doesn't matter your niche, but you should be saying high ticket services, because we are looking for only high ticket coaches who are serious about leveling up. Okay, this isn't just some, your random transformation. We're talking about adding 30 grand every single month, right? So you should be pretty serious about leveling up. And if that's not you, when we are on the call, no big deal, we'll be upfront, right? Because to be honest, we can't help everyone. I mean, we take a lot of work off our clients' plates, so spots are limited. I mean, no matter if we try that much right now, we can't just take 10, 20 clients right now. We just can't, because of the amount of work we have to put in, right? So if you're down for a game changer, let's get the ball rolling today itself. Okay, because how much longer are you cool with unpredictable paychecks, crazy work hours, and a bank account that's just not cutting it? How long? I mean, time for a shake up, my friend. Your friends, your family, and most importantly, your future you are counting on you, right? So if you're finally ready to make a move and change your life for good, you can book a call from the link down below, and let's turn things around. Trust me, you won't regret. And by the way, if you need more source like this, you can join the Facebook group if you haven't already, and subscribe my YouTube channel, because these are the only 2 places where I post the sauce. Okay, in the Facebook group, you just you get these sauces, you get some more exclusive stuff as well with this kind of sauce, and the opportunity to connect with coaches, consultants just like you. So yeah, I hope you got value from this video. I mean, for sure, this was a very long video. I'm not sure if I'm going to do these in the future, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope you got some value from it. Again, if you want to do this yourself, you will, just make sure to be consistent and follow the checklist that I will be providing. And if you're about leverage, you can book a call with us. So yeah, I mean, that's all from my side. I hope I was able to make your day a little bit brighter. Catch you later. Bye.